So, welcome to Sweet Insights with Ali and Amy, where today we have a plan of what we're talking about, but we are leaning in because Amy and I started talking, and I just felt like it wasn't fair for us to have this friend conversation and not share it with all of you. Because as soon as Amy told me that she thinks she's losing weight in her vagina, I was like, hold the train, because this is like, I am into today's conversation.
So for everybody joining, welcome to our chat. And so the whole conversation came up because I have been doing this program, which we've talked about, and maybe you missed the episode, maybe you haven't heard this episode, but like I'm on a journey. I hide it very well. I weigh way more than I look, or way more than I had liked to, kind of just with all the stress that I have. And we've talked many times about my cortisol journey and how I hate cortisol and I want to get rid of it. Um, but like,
Get rid of it all. Like, there's no positive intention to cortisol. Just throw it
just
out the window.
throw it out the window. I don't care. Like, if I'm being chased by a bear, like, let me run. Like, just get rid of the cortisol, but like, let me run. So I am down 15 pounds, which yay me. Now I'm in more of like a weight I would normally be in
Let's
when I need to
celebrate
lose
that for a
weight.
minute. Let's celebrate that for a minute. Like,
Yay.
that is so good. Kudos to you. I love it.
It is so
I'm
good. It's been hard.
I'm
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm inspired because my cortisol level has been through the roof and my weight has reflected such over the last 2 years. So, yeah.
Yeah,
So I want to channel my inner Amy and do the same.
I know.
I
And
love
so
it.
before we started talking about vaginal weight loss, which I feel like is the topic today, you were saying, why can't I do this? Why can't I just sit down? Like by this time, you would have lost the same amount of weight or whatnot, or you would have made your
Yes.
goal, whatever it is. And I said, so one of the reasons why Ali isn't doing it, because she genuinely asked me to answer the question for her, she is going through a very stressful time. So there's a lot of stressors in her life. And for me, I also have stressors, but mine are different. And I feel like for me, I'm on the end side of my stressors, although I feel like life happens and there's new things that happen every day. Some things I can't talk about at the moment. But like I got hit with something new a couple weeks ago that is going to impact some of my business and how I do things. And I'm just like, what do I do? So, but for me, I feel like I started this to give me something to focus on because I wanted to be healthier for me and for my kids and whatever, and yada, 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 like all the things I could say about why you want to lose weight. But I want to lose weight, one, to look good and to feel good about myself. But it gives me something to focus on. So like every day I'm focusing on what I eat and what I do. And is it exhausting and stressful and annoying in itself? Yes. But I've made it less stressful this time so that I'm knocking that cortisol down. So one of the things I'm doing is I'm following the program that Ali can offer and work with in the metabolic reset program, but I'm doing it a little bit different this time. I'm adding some more fats back in. So I'm actually following that plan, but also following keto. Um, I'm only eating 2 meals a day. And what I said to Ali was how this whole conversation sparked is that I've lost 15 pounds and I can really see it in my face. And I said, I'm on my period right now. And I said, I'm breaking out. And I said, the funny thing is, I said, every time I lose weight, I feel like I start my period. And I said, I don't know what's happening. I said, is my vagina losing weight? And so I do have an IUD. And I'm like, is it like shrinking? And so it's getting messed up and causing me to be on my period. But I was like, what the heck? Why is this even happening? And it seems like when I lose weight, I end up being on my period for longer. Like if I sync with my daughter and she'll be like, oh, I finished. And I'm like, I hate you right now because I'm older than you. I should have like better periods in my personal opinion. And like she's fine and happy and done. And then here I am and I'm like suffering. And
I feel like this cycle, the moon's changed. And so,
mhm.
like, people were starting late, people were having their cycles for longer. Like, I feel like when the moon comes at a weird time, like when there's like a lengthier time, I feel like it does mess with people's cycles. And I feel like the conversation that I have with clients tend to be around the same times that periods are wonkier.
Hmm. And see, and that makes sense. And I mean, again, for me, this happens every time though, while I'm in this journey. It ends up being longer and more annoying. It's just like it hangs around longer, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, that's how our conversation sparked, and I was wondering if that's a thing. Um, otherwise,
And then
when
that makes me think all kinds of things that I shouldn't think. But then I'm like, is your vagina tighter then if it's lost weight? Like, is it like,
I don't know.
like I'm curious about all of these things suddenly. Um, so going back to me and my journey of saying that like I just can't get started, my weight gain coincided with my daughter, who a year and a half ago had major knee surgery. And so my daughter was 9 at the time. And the doctors had basically told me that she may never cheer again. And we all know how much we talk about cheer, how much our daughters love cheer. And so I had this little secret. It went from a 6 week recovery to a 6 month recovery. And I neglected myself during this time, which as mothers we tend to do. And that's when my weight started to kick on and I didn't even notice. And perimenopause happened at the same time. And so that was a delightful journey. So, I didn't really, maybe I gained a little bit of weight, 5, 10 pounds in COVID, nothing really that I was worried about. But over the course of the last year and a half, I've gained 30 pounds. And so 30 pounds on my 5'2" frame is a lot. And like you said, I've gone through a lot of stress right now, the everyday life stressors, everyone's sick in the house, different things. My husband's job situation has been a 6 month journey where he was given notice. And it was working notice where they were required to train people. And then on top of that, my father in law has been in the hospital. His cancer has returned. He has bladder cancer and it has returned. And had his doctor not moved to British Columbia, they would have caught his cancer before it had further spread. So this past week and a half, he did his first round of chemo and his kidney function dropped and he has been in the hospital. So lots going on. So I keep saying that I'm going to prioritize my health and say no to the wine and the chips, because I know all the tools and tricks that need to happen to make myself feel better and so forth. And it's just like another thing just happens. And so, it's one of those things that I'm not an unhealthy weight. And I think that becomes the excuse, right? That, like, hey, like it's not horrible, but it doesn't feel great. And
Right.
so, I wonder how many other women find themselves in the same boat. I mean, I teach weight loss. But I also really promote loving our own bodies and not having to feel like there's a specific certain way that we need to be or feel. So I find myself on this little cliff of like body acceptance because, in our 40s, do we need to look like we were in our 20s? I have so many people who come to me who are like, I weighed 110 pounds in my 20s and that's what I want to be now. And I kind of toy with that with myself of like, is that where I want to go? Because I don't think so. But at the same time, are the choices that I'm making the best for me in this moment? And it's interesting because I eat really, really healthy. I do my protein, my cruciferous vegetables. I do all the right things. But then, I'm making those other choices too that are definitely not healthy. And so look at me sharing with
Well,
the world.
and so right. And that's the thing. So, like, I'm supposed to be eating really clean and really healthy. I mean, but yesterday I had a really long weekend with cheer and with my candy shop being open and just helping with the cheer floor. And anyone who knows this process, it's not an easy process when you have to like tear apart your whole gym and put it back together and then tear it apart again and put it back together again on either side of competition. So it's a lot. And love that we have tons of volunteers that help for certain aspects of it. And then other aspects, sometimes you don't have as many. So, there's extra work involved, and I'm a sucker for helping. Anyway, if it was me, the one organizing it, I would want all the help. So I always feel like I need to give all the help. So, anyway, I was exhausted after the weekend. So, what did I eat yesterday? I had some birthday cake, like little mini rice or popcorn snacks, whatever they are, and they were delicious. And then I also had an ice cream the other day, and I had, we could probably go on. I'm pretty sure I've been snacking on a few candies from the candy store, which are sitting right in front of me. So they were Valentine's ones, they were fun. But like I stayed on track otherwise. So honestly, that didn't do anything. It delayed my further weight loss, but it didn't do anything because I balanced myself out. I made sure that I'm doing all the things I did, and I had self control, which if you put it all in one day, it would have not been self control, but I spread it out over the weekend. It was fine. And the only time that it got me was when I had popcorn with a ton of seasoning on it, and the sodium levels were too high, and it threw me off again. So then I regressed a little in my weight. I felt crappy about myself. And then here I am trying to get back on track. So this time it's been a little bit longer, but I'm doing it more naturally and giving myself grace right now because I have so much going on in life and so much stress that I feel like eating a plain salad every day with like plain chicken probably would throw me over the edge, and I would just binge on every snack food in the house. So we're trying to do it a little different. But one of the things I had mentioned to you, Allie, and I said, I don't know if anyone's tried this, but I was really interested in how other programs and other supplements work. And the ones that you have are great, but you can only take them for so long. And once you're done that, then you're supposed to do this on your own and maintain and be healthy and good. But I want to know, once this program is done, has anyone tried like Primal Queen or any of those? It's more like the carnivore diet, but it's not, and it's packed into a supplement, which I feel is a bit healthier in my opinion. Not a doctor, but I mean, I feel like there's certain people that can do the carnivore diet and they're probably really great, but like others, I'm sure it's not great for your cholesterol. So curious what you think of it. And I know you don't know much about it. And I know that we're definitely going to have to dive into it a little deeper because I'm sure there's lots of people out there who have seen these ads come up on Facebook or Instagram or whatever platform you're on, or know somebody who's doing it. And I'm just curious. Oh, you're all going to see them now because I just spread it out to the universe. All your phones
it's so
are listening.
Interesting, Amy, that you bring up the carnivore diet, right? Because, all of these fad diets are, intentional for a purpose for a short period of time, right? And I think that's where people go wrong in any kind of diet, is that too much of one thing is going to throw your body off, right?
Yeah.
So even the ketogenic diet, right? Like there is a time and a purpose for the ketogenic diet. Post concussion, it is the best diet you possibly can do to get in those healthy fats. Again, if you're doing it the healthy fat way, not drowning yourself in bacon and cheese and stuff like that. But like short-term dieting, right? Like, doing a 6 or 8 week cycle of a ketogenic diet, right? Not doing it for a year. Doing those kind of things that noticing, does your body respond better to fats than it does to carbs? Then you're going to presumably have a diet that is higher in fats than it is in carbs, but still keeping it high in vegetables and protein. And so learning that about your body, like I think for me right now, stress and cortisol is playing a big role for me. But carbohydrates are a very comforting food. And so in perimenopause, carbohydrates, our ability to metabolize insulin and sugars is changing. So the way that I have always eaten is not going to be the same for me, my metabolism, as it was in the past. And so switching up those things, people also don't notice how often they're like how much fat they're getting, right? Like you've learned through the metabolic reset, how to monitor, like, is your salad, that healthy salad that you're eating, actually 10 fat servings instead of 2, right? And realizing those things. I remember I went through the phase where I was doing bulletproof coffee, and when I started to monitor how many fats I was getting, I was like, holy Hannah, if you had told me how many fats were in my diet before, I would have told you that I was carb heavy and fat low, where I naturally am like, ooh, fats. Ooh, I love nuts and seeds and avocados and like all the healthy fats, and they add up quickly. When it comes to supplementation, I mean, we really have to look at what our own individual bodies need, what these supplements give. My biggest concern always with any multitude supplement is they advertise that they have all these great things in them, but then when you actually look at the percentage of magnesium in them, or you look at the percentage of vitamin B12 in them, it's very minuscule. So oftentimes you are better off to look at where are your deficiencies, where are your symptoms, and actually taking separate supplements that are going to give you actual therapeutic doses. So that's always the concern with these like multi-advertised, celebrity promoted type things, is the supplement industry is a money-making industry and the profit margins are large. And they want to have a proprietary blend that is going to be something that you can only purchase from them because that's what they're making the money off of.
Right.
So I tend to frequently look at, what are the components they're advertising, what are actual therapeutic dosages, and what are the benefits of each of those things. um, I random conversation here because this is our random bonus episode. Um, I'm struggling currently with my estrogen patch because it doesn't want to stick.
Mm.
It keeps coming off. And then it's very frustrating because I'm paying per patch. So I don't want to use 2 patches per week because my one didn't stick good.
So is it like, because so random story, before we answer your question. So apparently, so I get my nails done, not all the time, just I've been doing them for competition weekends. Well, I ended up losing a nail. So I was told that my nail beds are probably more oily. And I was like, what? Is that even a thing? So
Yes.
is it possible your skin is more oily lately, like with whatever your hormones are doing?
So it's funny. If I put it on my arm, I don't seem to have as much of a problem as when I put it on my buttocks. And I read somewhere that you're supposed to put it on the lower half of your body. And so I've been avoiding our hot tub because every time I go in our hot tub, it seems to come off.
Right.
Whereas if I put on my arm, it was great because I could just keep that part of my arm out of the hot tub and that would be great. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It's maybe it's like the I don't know, but it's very frustrating because other weeks it sticks fabulously and it's
Right.
like almost hard to get off and it leaves like sticky glue residue. And then other times it's like, what the heck? It's not even sticking at all.
So, is it really going to impact you that much, do you think, putting it on your arm versus the lower part of your body? Like, do
I
you
have no
know?
idea. I can't
Mhm.
find any research of why you're supposed to put it on the lower part of your body.
Maybe is it just faster to get to where it's going? I don't know. Like
Oh, I wish somebody would tell me.
so I've tried these patches before that have no supplements or medicinal things in them. They're meant to do with your, I don't know. I'm gonna say your
Oh my God,
DNA.
I'm
Just
so like I'm dying of curiosity. I was like, I tried these patches before that don't really do anything, but I stick them on my body.
no. So
And
but they do. So they don't have supplements and things in them and are natural supposedly. And they're these patches, and I can't remember what they're called. And I know people listening will probably be hateful to me if they know them or sell them or whatever. But there's a couple different companies that do them, and they have these proprietary blend. Like you can never see what's actually in them. So, but it's not medicinal. And you put them on the different parts of your body depending on what it is helping. So, for example, if you have pain in your body, and let's say for me it's in my shoulder, well then I would put it like on my back or like on my arm or somewhere. If it
but it's
is,
not medicinal and it's not a supplement.
it's not medicinal.
Is
So
it magic woohoo? Like what is it if it's none of
right,
those things?
I know. And this is the thing. And I have them and I'll have to get them sometime and we'll talk about them on another episode. But I'm wondering if the patches, just because of those, if you put them in the affected area, it's supposed to work faster and better. I wonder if that's similar to your patch, why they say to put it on the lower half of your body, because it's closer to your hoo-ha and where it needs to go. I don't know. Just a thought.
Maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I don't know.
So yeah, that's very interesting though. But I would say if you can get
Oh,
it, yeah.
going back to your nails,
Oh yeah.
Kenzie has the exact same problem. So, she is a little girl who's decided to use her Christmas money to get her nails done. And so years ago, she had shellac.
Yep.
Shellac, like just like washes off of this child. Like it does not stick. Like 2 days after shellac, this child's shellac can be completely gone. I've never seen anything like it. So the first time she got her nails done, she did acrylic because
Oh,
that's what most little girls do because it's most cost effective. Literally didn't make it to like I think 2 weeks they came off. So I suggested, would it make a difference if she did solar instead of acrylic? Has not had a single nail come off.
huh. What I don't
Completely
even know
fine.
what solar is. We do gel here and acrylic. I don't know what solar is. What do you
I think
mean?
solar is gel. So
Okay.
there's acrylic gel, or no, or maybe there's acrylic, solar, and biogel.
Oh, I don't know. But
And you know
interesting.
what's really interesting is that I get solar done, and I went in, and the guy, I don't know, he had like a brain fart, and he put biogel on instead of solar, and I was like, oh, this is a different process. Like you're doing it differently. And he's like, oh my gosh. He's like, I just gave you biogel. Like I wasn't thinking. He's like, I don't know why I thought you had biogel. He's like, whoops. And I said, oh, no, it's no problem. And I said, but what's interesting is that the process that you're using to do the biogel, before COVID, I went to a different nail salon and always got biogel. No, it wasn't biogel.
Oh,
It was like not the same process. So like when they do biogel, they do like two nails at a time instead of your whole hand. And then the old salon, no. I think they were doing solar and calling it bio.
oh, so yeah, so I get the same one. They do two nails at a time. They put it on, and then you let them cure so that you're not twisting and turning your hand, and so they're not dripping different ways, and thumbs have to
It
go
gets
in.
hot.
Yeah, it gets hot.
Yeah,
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 so same, yeah, same stuff. Interesting. But yeah, we
yeah.
call it different things here apparently. Or maybe just I do, maybe, but my nail tech doesn't say those words, so I don't know. Um, anyway, so back to the rest of, I guess, more of our, I mean, maybe other people are having these issues. Maybe it's a perimenopause thing. Who knows? It doesn't speak for
They
Kenzie, but
say that your nails get brittle and have issues. So
yep, that is definitely a thing. So I guess we're gonna have to look at some of these other things more closely, and just maybe we'll do some, we can do bonus episodes on it. But I am curious to know if anyone has tried Primal Queen. I'm not looking for the carnivore diet. That's not my thing. Although I do love steak, I do love meat in general, but I'm not looking to go and do that. I like too many
my
of,
best friend's husband did the carnivore diet this summer and felt amazing. But again, he was smart about it, didn't do it long term, did it for a short period of time, and then gradually reintroduced foods, but felt really good.
interesting.
But I think it's ultimately because we're eliminating processed foods, processed sugars, getting rid of all of that gunk in our body, which, ultimately makes a big difference in how we feel.
Well, and he is a man, so I feel like how a man responds to things is different how we respond to things. And if there's men listening, like I'm not saying anything mean. I feel like for me to lose 15 pounds and for a man to lose 15 pounds, they would have accomplished this probably in 2 to 3 weeks doing the same thing that I'm doing, and it took me 6 weeks,
It is very frustrating to try to lose weight with a significant other who is of the opposite gender.
right?
Yeah,
It
it is.
is. Yeah,
Because the amount of times that Greg and I have done a cleanse or a diet together, and I do all the planning, all the cooking, all the doing, and he just sheds like it's wonderful and prances around so happy about it and so enthusiastic about it and wants to shout from the rooftop about how much weight he's lost. I am so sympathetic to my clients who lose weight with their spouses because if their spouse is anything like Greg, it is like, it's something else.
right? So I guess I don't know when we're gonna play this bonus episode. So I don't know. Are we gonna save it for March break maybe? And like this will be our little March break episode for everybody.
I don't know.
I don't know. When is your March break there?
I think the second week in March.
Okay, same as ours. Yeah, we'll have to decide, but maybe we'll do more bonus episodes if you guys like this too. And this one obviously was a doozy and super interesting and relatable and maybe unrelatable, but We will have some regular
And
episodes.
the key takeaways are random tidbits with Allie and Amy.
Yeah,
Random, you just don't know what we're going to say next.
absolutely. Well, I think that's it for today. That's all the randomness I have.
Love you, Amy.
Love you.
Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.